Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video to the channel. Welcome to the Delve into Dungeoneering remastered post. So on Monday the 11th of May, we're going to get the remastered version of Dungeoneering, and this is going to be the update post relating to this upcoming update. So in terms of the quick read I've already had on it, it seems that Jagex might have nailed this update. Now this was something which wasn't mentioned in the roadmap and just seemed to appear out of nowhere, but Dungeoneering is a skill which hasn't been touched since it was brought into the game, and it really needs a bit of an update to bring it into the modern day Runescape 3. Now if you are enjoying the videos, please make sure to leave me a like, subscribe to the channel, let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this update post. As always, all the links and stuff will be in the description if you guys wanted to check it out, and if you wanted any more videos to watch for double XP, there's plenty of videos in the corner and in the description as well for you guys to go and check out. Now if you wanted to, there is also a video going through all these updates and changes which Jagex have released. Go check that out if you don't want to read the update post, but there's an awful lot for us to go and get through. So this is going to bring a wide set of updates to Demonheim, along with rebalancing, rewards, necromancy. It really is a very action-packed update, which Dungeoneering has desperately needed for quite a amount of time. Now, one of the first things I'm going to start with is the change in graphics to all the floors. Now, one thing which was commonly mentioned before regarding like Dungeoneering stuff is that the floors didn't feel authentic to the type it is. Now, what they're looking to do now is to make those floors have the feel of what type of sort of environment they are. Before, this was the standard frozen floor, and as you can see here, we have the after effect of a frozen floor. A lot better in the term of texture and look and feel of the actual game. One thing Runescape 3 has as a major advantage is the look and the graphics the game possesses. So having things like this, which especially for Dungeoneering shows off different environments, is really nice. Now, as we move further on, a big goal here was going to look at rebalancing Dungeoneering, and one thing which they mentioned to start with is going to be floor experience as well as tokens. Now, originally, when you receive tokens, you would get 10% of your overall XP into tokens. This is now changing to 20% of the floor experience is now going to be converted into tokens, which means essentially you're going to be earning double the tokens you previously did. Now, a big thing which was mentioned in previous posts was elite dungeons and archaeology collections. Whether the rewards which they give you in terms of Dungeoneering tokens were going to be nerfed and removed fully. This is not happening. What they've done instead is upped the Dungeoneering token rate to that 20% to cover for this. So Dungeoneering should always be the best way for you to go and get your Dungeoneering tokens. But the fact you can do archaeology and ED3, it can still be done to go and get some Dungeoneering tokens if you wanted another way to do it. Now this really helps because as you can see here, the increase to the amount of tokens you receive at different level brackets is considerate. Now, 30, 40 in those lower Dungeoneering levels is where it was going to harm you the most. The fact these are the ones which are going to get the most tokens improved overall is a really good point. And the later levels, yes, they have a buff, but they don't have enough. But once you sort of reach to the level 80, 90 and further, Dungeoneering tokens don't really become something you need like bulk amounts of. And I also think as well, the higher someone's Dungeoneering level is, the more chance we can go and get tokens from ED3 and also archaeology. If they wanted an alternative method, those lower levels will really benefit from the tokens, whether it's to go and rush lower level floors, use the Dungeoneering tokens for XP, or have access to the Dungeoneering token reward shop. Floor experience has also been rebalanced, so all floors feel more worthwhile across the levels. Maybe this means that you can actually do smalls and mediums at lower level, rather than just rushing to go and get the better XP. And I think that's a nicer feel as well. Again, targeting that lower level, earlier level gameplay, where people are having to do Dungeoneering, and if they're not getting the sort of XP worthwhile, a lot of people can kind of leave Dungeoneering, and it's a shame really, because when Dungeoneering is done correctly, it is a very nice skill. I've always enjoyed Dungeoneering if it's done with friends and at a decent XP rate, and when you're not really sort of penalised for any mistakes or any deaths as well. Using skill doors and unlocking doors through skills will now give you some Dungeoneering XP as well, which is really nice. A lot of the mobs and also the combat side, the bosses had their life points increased. It isn't about slowing everything down for the sake of it, but it's to make sure that combat's a bit more meaningful. Again, you would just run into rooms and just absolutely abolish anything which was in that. And especially the Dungeoneering floor bosses as well, didn't really offer any competition ever since sort of ESC came into the game. You just do a couple attacks and they're already dead. So really interesting how the boss feels as well from that as well. So the prestige system has been replaced with floor buffs. So prestige could be difficult to understand and was often punishing people if they didn't follow exactly. That's no longer the case. Floor XP is no longer penalised on how you choose to run your floors. Instead, completing unique floors now grants you one of 5 buffs: death penalty reduction, extra resource chances, scaling XP boost, damage reduction, and floor XP boost. This is something I'm going to try on day of release and just do a couple of Dungeoneering floors. Again, grab the hog, which will greatly benefit from this improvement on low level XP and tokens as well. Can experience all this, and we can sort of show you guys what the benefits of this was. But Again, really big fan of this. I'm quite interested to see how the prestige system is going to work, in meaning that maybe you don't have to reset your floors. Again, we'll see how that goes. But the whole resetting floors and sort of rushing floors as well was something which was always a grindy thing about Dungeoneering. If they take that out and you can just go and farm your high XP floors, could be a really good way to go and see how that is going to be. Now, the big thing with DG, in my opinion, Necromancy. Especially for a lot of the Dungeoneering floors, a lot of these have undead creatures or creatures where Necromancy is going to be a massive benefit. So Necromancy is now going to be fully part of the Dungeoneering experience. You'll find tier 1 through to tier 11 Necromancy equipment, runes and ectoplasm throughout Demonheim. Tier 11 equipment sits at the top end and is only available as a drop from specific bosses within Demonheim. This will be something which we'll find out on day of release and through the patch notes and stuff as well. But it'll be really nice to see how this goes. They're also going to bring in Forgotten Necromancies as mobs as well, which will be really nice. And the Necro Lord boss has been updated to use Necromancy. So this will be really beneficial. I think that the Necromancy combat style will be really strong in Dungeoneering. And it'll be a nice thing actually to see so many people wanting to go and Dungeoneer to go and get the Necromancy outfit. That'll be something I'll be looking to do quite early on the main account as well, to go get kitted up for Dungeoneering with Necromancy, because I think it'll be really, really strong. So really nice there. The Ring of Kingship has also had a nice little update. So along with the Necromancy editions, the Ring of Kingship now has a class for Necromancy as well, which is really, really nice. They've also reduced as well the total cost to fully upgrade a class by 50%. So you're not having to spend such a huge amount of your tokens on the Ring of Kingship, which again, really decent. We have some new rewards and new goals as well. So a brand new sort of selection on the reward shop. All the stuff which you have for like mage, range and melee, you now have a variant for Necromancy as well as some pretty decent things as well. So we have the Scroll of Excavating, which will give you a 2% chance to send excavated materials directly to your storage. A tradable chase item from Warp Floors that is required for the purchase of the new tier 90 Runescape weapons, which we'll look a little bit further down, which could possibly mean that you can actually make some money from doing Dungeoneering if you go after this chase item. A Chaotic Grimoire as well for the pocket slot, very nice. A new Necromancy amulet added to Commander Ziliana's drop table, the Saradomin's Hum, which again can be upgraded to the Chaotic Remnant. Again, really nice that we have got some new items for Necromancy. And we've got things like a Gravit and Chaotic Arm Guards and Lanterns, so we have those levels for Necromancy as well. So really a nice big addition of Necromancy items into the shop. So we've got the Occultist Necklaces, again this will be all the different tiers, and the Saradomin's Hum is going to be a brand new item from Ziliana, which you can then upgrade to a tier 80 Necromancy amulet. We're going to get the Ferret Pet, which at 750,000 tokens is quite steep, but at level 110 you should be able to have those kind of tokens as well. That is going to be from the Ferret Room, and you can have the cosmetic skins for all the different colours as addition. We have the Retro Celestial Robes at 2 million DG tokens, quite expensive, but you know, we shall see. The Chaotic Grimoire at level 60 Dungeoneering for a +7 to critical strike chance, which I'm really interested to try this out. It's quite a nice little reward they've done there. I think that would be quite beneficial in certain situations, and definitely for people at the mid game who might not have the money to go and spend on one of the God books or whatever options. This could be a really nice way to go and train your Dungeoneering and get a nice reward here. We have the Gravite Guard and Lantern for 55 Dungeoneering and Necromancy. And then we've got the Chaotic Guard and the Chaotic Lantern. So for 200k tokens, you then have the main hand and offhand for a tier 80 Dungeoneering Necromancy weapon, which, again, really, really interesting to see how this goes. We then have the tier 90 Necromancy weapons with tier 100 accuracy. These will also be tier 100 damage against creatures of Demonheim. So if you're doing any of the Demonheim creatures outside, so things like Edemus, if you're going to go chase for Hex Hunter bows, if you're doing Seekers, any of those creatures, you'll get the extra damage on. Now, these are going to require 1 Warped Stone, which I believe is going to be a reward from the Warped Lairs, which they mentioned that's going to be the chase item. Now, these are going to be very expensive. It seems for a sort of dual wield set, it's going to be 1 million DG tokens. And for the 2H, it's going to be 1 million tokens as well. But this is a big boy reward from Dungeoneering, and these could be pretty high tier in certain situations as well. So 1 million Dungeoneering tokens is no mean feat at all. That is a lot of DG tokens to have. But those Warp Stones, if you're someone who enjoys like Dungeoneering, you can get these as well. So they're going to be tradable dropped from Warped Floor bosses, and they're going to be required to go and buy them. So before you even look at buying these items, you're going to need Warp Stones, which may be something going forward could make Dungeoneering highly profitable. And if you have a look at them as well, they seem incredibly nice in terms of their design. Yes, they're going to sort of look very similar to the old original Chaotic weapons, which I think is right, but they seem like a lot like Blood Dyed in my opinion. Really big fan of those, and they look really, really good. So I think that these are going to be really good against creatures of Demonheim, a 12% sort of increase in damage on them. if you've got things to camp like Hex Hunter bows, or if you're doing a lot of Slayer, they can be really, really nice. And then finally, quality of life across Demonheim. You'll no longer need to bank before entering a dungeon. Items are now handed automatically when starting a run. Key doors, skill doors, and gate stones now show on the map, and unlocking a door will automatically reveal the adjacent room, saving an extra click each time. That is such a nice update. Complexity has been simplified down to high and low, removing the less used middle options. Skill doors can now be attempted even if you don't meet the requirements. If your level is lower, you're more likely to fail, but retries are automatic and failure no longer deals damage. That is also very nice as well. Iron Men can now dungeoneer with non-Iron Men, which is massive. Like, the amount of Iron Men who want to go and go for those runeless weapons will be huge. And the fact that you've got people now who are looking for dungeoneering teams, the fact that the dungeoneering pools just got bigger is even nicer, because the more people who look to do this, the better it will be. The Ring of Kingship has been streamlined. All classes are now passive, which is really, really nice. We have the Smugglers, Storage, and Binds as well, a new system called Smugglers Storage. This will give you more control of what you carry between floors. You start with 3 slots, increasing to 15 as you level up Dungeoneering, so you've got more and more options as well. Having Necromancy as a combat style, you're going to need more option stuff as well. So really, really nice. Really, really happy with how this has looked. I'm completely wrong with what I was saying. I was worried that this was going to be rushed. It seems like there is a lot of thought into it. And again, as always, I'm looking for your thoughts on this as well, but I think this could be an update they could absolutely smash out of the park as well. Now, some things have been removed. So the Scroll of Demonheim, the Guide Mode, Shared XP, Dungeoneering Party Simulators, Garaggio cards, including Dungeoneering Wildcards, as well as Floor Skip. So it could quite possibly be that you could just go and hammer certain floors and just go and pick on the highest floors as well. Now, they have refunded some things. So if you had the Scroll of Demonheim, you'll be refunded with 30,000 tokens. They're also looking at Garaggio cards and Dungeoneering Wildcards. They're going to be refunded as well. And yeah, it seems to be massive. So what I would say, if you're looking for any of the Dungeoneering stuff as well, subscribe. We'll be doing some stuff on Monday to sort of evaluate it. I think this will be a really good time if you're ever looking to train your Dungeoneering or anything like that, to go and give it a go on release on Monday. I think these updates they've done are fantastic. Not just the rewards are so good, but all the little things they've added seem to be really nice. And I honestly think that Necromancy is going to be a serious style there as well. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Again, I'll put the link into this post as well as the video if you guys want to go check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.